From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, Alaska State Troopers have confirmed the identity of a body found in the Chena River last Saturday.
Officials say it was that of 73-year-old Roger Yeager of Eagle River, Wisconsin. Yeager had been reported missing by family members in August of 2014. Troopers say his last known activity was in the Fairbanks area and that family members feared he was suicidal. On May 2nd, a group of boaters near mile 37 of Chena Hot Springs Road reported a body in the river. Troopers responded to the remote area and recovered the remains. An autopsy confirmed the body was Yeager's, and evidence suggests his death was suicide by a single gunshot wound.
We finally were able to get a positive ID, and it turns out that they belong to a man that had been missing for approximately a year. And right now it looks like there's no foul play involved, but it is good that we were able to do a positive ID on these remains so we could provide closure to a family that was missing their loved one.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District faces a $12 million budget deficit in the coming fiscal year. With state funding levels unknown at this time, the district has turned towards the borough to help fill the gap. The Borough Assembly held a public hearing on Mayor Luke Hopkins' FY 15-16 proposed budget last night. That spending plan contains nearly $51 million in education dollars and maintains the tax levy on property owners at 11.356 mils. The school district has requested an additional $7 million from the borough, which equates to nearly a mil on the tax levy. It was standing room only, as roughly 100 people packed the assembly chamber. A strong majority of those who testified did so in favor of raising taxes on property owners to help fund the district's $245 million operating budget.
I hate seeing the drastic cuts the school district is facing this year. I think it's so important to fully fund education that I'm willing to pay more property taxes. If it takes a 0.85 increase in the mill rate to fully fund education, do it. Please give the school district the requested money they're asking for and the additional $7 million they need.
Not guilty pleas today for a Fairbanks man accused of sexually abusing a minor child. 46-year-old Frederick Baker pleaded not guilty this afternoon after refusing his initial Superior Court arraignment on Tuesday. Baker was indicted by a Fairbanks grand jury on a single count of sexual abuse of a minor in the first degree. According to court documents, the alleged victim was a friend of Baker's. A police report says Baker picked her up from school and later sexually abused her while she was sleeping. The victim's mother reported the abuse to the police shortly after the incident. Baker has been in jail on a no bail status. Trial for his case is set for July.
Police are investigating a reported rape at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Now, this is the second such report in recent weeks that allegedly occurred inside campus apartments. 23-year-old student Frank Link is charged with 2 counts of felony sexual assault. Those charges were filed yesterday. Another student who was also a Nanook hockey player, Nolan Youngman, has been charged with raping an unidentified victim on campus. Police are still investigating 2 additional reports of rape in that case. University officials say they are aware of the recent reports and that they continue to work with police. They add that their top priority is student safety. Spokeswoman for UAF, Marmion Grimes, said the university takes its own steps to ensure the victims of crimes are taken care of and those accused are properly investigated.
The issue of sexual assault and partner violence has kind of come to the forefront in the last year here on campus. The student discipline process, one thing that's different about these sorts of cases from other student discipline processes is the victim has a seat at the table in that process. In the end, if the investigation finds a violation of the policies, the accused would go through the student discipline process with input from the victim. In the end, the consequences could be pretty broad, up into including expulsion.
All right, when we come back, until further notice, heightened security is in effect at Fort Wainwright, and there may be delays at the gates. Now it's because of increased security nationwide.
That's right. Also, statewide members of the VFW are in Fairbanks for their annual convention. Today they remembered military veterans in a special memorial service. Also, last night, 3 members of the community were recognized for their community service by being named Women of Distinction. For our cameras, we were there. We'll have that story. Welcome back. Alaska leads the nation in the number of military veterans per capita with close to 60,000. This week, Fairbanks is playing host to the 70th annual Veterans of Foreign Wars, or VFW, convention. This morning, members of the VFW from all over the state held a ceremony to honor Alaska military who gave their life to their country. Fairbanks Mayor John Eberhardt and North Pole Mayor Bryce Ward spoke to the group and expressed their thanks for the veterans. The guest speaker was the Commander-in-Chief for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, John Stroud, who echoed the words of thanks to all of the Alaskan veterans. He says he never tires of coming to the state to work with all the different posts and meet new veterans.
Well, I knew I was going to love this a lot. That was going forward. What I didn't know was I didn't know I was going to love it this much. The people that I get to associate with are the greatest people on the planet. That's America's heroes. The Alaska veterans and the auxiliary members are just absolutely wonderful people. We're the veterans of foreign wars, and no one does more for veterans.
The Fairbanks Girl Scouts hosted a special celebration last night honoring women who make a difference in our community. Lorna Shaw, Anna Richards, and Sherry Madra were the 2015 recipients of the Women of Distinction Award. The Girl Scouts have been recognizing interior female role models through this event for almost 20 years now. Alaska First Lady Donna Walker attended the gathering at the Westmark Hotel. A banquet and silent auction made up of donations from local businesses were held as part of the festivities. Proceeds from the event will benefit Alaska's Girl Scouts, providing funds for troop activities and campouts. 2015 award winner Lorna Shaw says the award is a great way to highlight strong women in Fairbanks.
I'm honored that the Girl Scouts would choose women in our community who do make a difference. I like to think that what I do matters, and if I inspire somebody, that would be amazing. I look around Fairbanks and I see so many women who've inspired me, and I hope I can grow up and be like them.
Children make up around 11% of Alaska's homeless population, according to the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Mike Fussell has a look at what some local organizations are doing to help kids in need.
Being a kid can be tough, but for Interior Alaska's homeless youth, the problems of everyday life can jeopardize your health and safety. Executive Director of the Fairbanks Youth Advocates, Mary Lee Bates, operates a 24/7 emergency shelter called The Door. She says it helps kids focus on making strides towards a safe and stable life.
We don't need people in survival mode. We need people in a mode of developing and growing and becoming, a contributing citizen.
The Door has served 71 different children over the past year and can house up to 11 people at a time. The shelter provides food and clothing, but also helps children make plans to achieve long-term goals.
Getting them back on their feet again, because we all want everyone. We want them to be successful. We want each other to be successful. We all do better when we all do better.
The Fairbanks Street Outreach Advocacy Program is also helping out. Program manager Rebecca Buckles says the organization is serving more than 300 homeless and at-risk kids as a drop-in center where they can eat, seek out counseling, and learn life skills. Kids can also take food with them when they leave.
When they're going to other people's houses, they're not using up their resources, so maybe they can spend an extra night. And the stores have told me that they noticed that the stealing has gone down, because when you're hungry, you're going to steal. And it's not the right choice, but now that they have something so they can make better choices.
Buckles says the most important things the center provides are a sense of safety and an individual focus, which she says was made clear to her when giving gifts out.
He said, the only thing I would like, I don't care what I get, but can I have my name? He said, all my life I've gotten presents from churches, the Angel Tree, but it's been 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, and we put names, and we had 60 kids show, so all of them had presents.
One of the ultimate goals of both SOAP and The Door is breaking the stigma associated with homelessness.
Their scars show them where they've been, but they don't have to dictate where they're headed, and it's just a process like peeling an onion.
I'm Mike Fussell reporting.
Thanks, Mike. That was great. All right, Joe Cook is up next with Friday Sports, and there are some prime highlights from big soccer matchups.
Also info on upcoming Special Olympics events and the Alaska International Senior Games. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. It's already Friday. Joe Cook here with your local Sportscast tonight. Two undefeated conference teams battled on the pitch Thursday night. The West Valley Wolfpack and North Pole Patriots both trying to secure the top spot in the MAC. Shane Gillette, he finds Ryan Kramer, the senior, who finishes the play with the goal. That was the only goal for West Valley in the first half. The Wolfpack denied the Patriots with their back line, while Taylor DeAngelis, he shut it down with some big-time saves for the Pats. West Valley keeper Makai Omnick, he did the same in the second half. North Pole couldn't finish some good looks at the net. Both teams battled injuries as well, and the players, they just toughed it out. In the last 20 minutes, Andrew Bray gave the Pack insurance with a score that DeAngelis couldn't get a grip on at West Valley. They win this one 2-0. It's North Pole's first MAC loss, while the Wolfpack improved to 5-0. Omnick talks about the goalie battle he had with DeAngelis, which was one of the games within the game.
This is my first year playing, getting to know soccer, and I just had to get it together, and just watching him do all those saves, I just knew I had to do something to keep my team in it.
We got a couple finishes going our way. That's easily a 2-1, 2-2 game. Their second goal was kind of just some bad luck on our part, but overall, both teams played fantastic. That's a really good team, and we're excited for the second game. It's going to be fun.
It's huge now. We're in the driver's seat. We talked about moving the ball faster and trying to keep our composure a little bit. Those close games are always fun to watch, but they're not that fun to coach.
The girls' game was also a showdown of teams that are undefeated in MAC play. The Wolfpack ended up winning this game in the first 15 minutes. Rio Geiger finds it back of the net from distance about 20 yards out, just 8 minutes into the contest. 3 minutes later, Kiera Simpson made it 2-0 West Valley. And before the end of the first half, Simpson notched her second goal of the game, give the Pack a 3-0 lead. North Pole Savannah Moisen scored in the second half for West Valley. They improved to 3-0 in the MAC and 5-3 overall with a 3-1 victory, handing the Patriots their first conference loss. Local softball teams have road games this week. The last time North Pole and Ketchikan met, it was in the state tournament, and the Lady Kings, they won 27-zip last night. It was a lot closer, though, but K-High, they win 5-0. Both teams play again tonight. West Valley, they rallied to tie Wasilla in the 5th inning, but the Warriors, they win this game 5-4 in 6 innings. The Pack will face Palmer tonight. Lathrop was the lone road team to win. They beat Palmer 9-3 for their first Rail Belt win of the year. The Mutes will play Colony tonight. This is one for all the seasoned athletes who still have something left in the tank. Registration is now open for the Alaska International Senior Games. The AISG will have its 13th year of competition this August in Fairbanks. The games will be August 7th through the 16th. There are 65 events in 20 different sports, which include bowling, cycling, pickleball, basketball, track and field, and more. The games are for people aged 50 or older. Now in ice hockey, yep, there's co-ed ice hockey. Women can be 45 years young. To register, visit alaskaisg.org. That's alaskaisg.org. Here's a heads up for some special Olympic activities that will be happening right here in Fairbanks. Starting tomorrow, there will be a swimming event at the Hammy Pool from 5 to 9 p.m. and Monday night at 6 p.m. The Special team will scrimmage the Monroe girls basketball team. There will be a track and field event this coming Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. at the Big Dipper. And how about powerlifting next Friday at 7 p.m. at the local CrossFit? Then next Saturday at the UF Police Department will be the Torch Run. That's a fundraiser to help send as many local Special Olympians to state games in Anchorage this summer. Our local floor hockey team, the Fairbanks Flames, they won gold earlier this year in Anchorage. A special event is going on this Saturday at the Big Dipper, and it's free. The 12th annual Staley Memorial Cup starts at 5 p.m. and it's a 4-team tournament. And there's also going to be an open skate in between games. There will be free food and more, including a raffle and an auction with tons of items like signed ice dogs and Alaska Nanac jerseys. This event is a fundraiser for Fairbanks youth hockey, but it's also in remembrance of a former ice dog, Rick Staley, who passed away in a snow machine accident back in 2004.
The whole thing being about Rick and, loved ones that have passed, the event's just about love, so it's just, it's kind of cool to see that part evolve. So
it's become very special. You see families you don't see all the time, kids you don't see all the time, and most importantly, everyone who played and is lucky enough to know Rick.
And we wrap things up with the play of the week. Some stellar plays in the I-5, including a walk-off homer, but the play of the week goes to the West Valley duo of Jenna DeFalco and Spencer Herron. This play won by 7 votes. It had 19 votes on the Webster11.com poll alone. The 2 runners won the girls and boys 3,200-meter races in the first track and field meet of the season. DeFalco finished in 11 minutes 42 seconds and Herron in 10 minutes 10 seconds. To pick the next play of the week, watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's it for sports. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into our Friday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather, and we had a cloudy day all day long. mainly just high clouds, but we are looking at a change in the weather pattern that could bring some rain to us by tomorrow night. It'll be out of here by Mother's Day, and then after that, we're warming back up again, really warming back up again. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Look at this beautiful photograph sent in by Bill Cody, a magnificent sunset. It describes it beautifully. I think he lives up there around the ski land area, and he's able to capture all this gorgeous colors here. The sun down on the horizon there. Nice shot, Bill. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, well, there's the number. I should say the email address. photos@ktvf11.com. Here's your numbers right now. 64 degrees. That's our high for the day. The low last night, 40. The record high was 73. Wow, nice day in 1995. Chilly in 1964. Got down to 8 degrees for the record low that night. Sunrise and sunset, 17 hours and 51 minutes. We'll go over 18 hours this weekend. And that's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite radar, you can see the moisture starting to move in a little more intense, and the flow is becoming a little more out of the southeast. That's what we're looking at, some of it breaking through the Alaska range here, and also with all that moisture backing up, it's a pretty good chance we're going to see a little bit of shower activity tomorrow night, and a better chance, well, actually tomorrow night is a better chance, and then should be out of here, like I said, by Sunday, so that's good news. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, as you can see here, looking at the temperatures, very nice around Juneau, but still some rain shower activity, all associated with that flow coming out of the southeast. Some showers at Kodiak Island, also in the Anchorage Bowl. A few sprinkles here and there over there along the Aleutian chain. Not too bad at Colby, 39 there. 36 degrees for the high in Nome today. Nice day in Barrow, 29 degrees there, and a very good day in Fort Yukon, 64, partly cloudy skies. Lower 48 weather, lots to talk about once again. And as you can see on the west coast, things are looking pretty good. Not quite as warm in Phoenix, only 75 degrees, but the same in Seattle, 75 there. 51 in Denver, and they're getting ready for a really interesting situation. More thunderstorms, some of them possibly bringing tornadoes, lots of damaging winds and heavy rain and hail, all of it happening there, while the rest of the eastern half of the country looks pretty good. On the satellite and radar, you can see these storms once again blowing up in the afternoon, really exploding. Pretty good frontal boundaries, or I should say boundaries, just squall lines mainly for the most part. And look what's happening across the Rockies here. This is going to be interesting to watch because this is what happens Saturday night and Sunday. Look at the snow. Up to a foot of snow in the Cheyenne area, down to Denver, maybe 8 to 10 inches of snow. This is only, what, May 9th we're talking about. That's amazing, and it's going to be gone in a few days, but still, it'll be pretty interesting to watch that. And the overall jet stream will be changing dramatically next week. It'll become more zonal, like from west to east, and then roaring back up the east coast. And this area of low pressure here is Tropical Storm Anna. That's now moving on shore and expected to bring just mainly heavy rain for the most part. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. For the northern sections, we're looking at partly cloudy skies at Nome, mostly cloudy skies for Barrow and Fort Yukon. Now here in the interior, well, we're going to be clouding up throughout the day with a chance of showers of rain, mainly developing over the Healy, Delta Junction, and Fairbanks areas by late afternoon into early evening. While over the southeastern sections, looks like periods of rain from Juneau right on down to Ketchikan. Over to the southwest, mixed bag of weather once again, mostly sunny in Bethel, but rain at Kodiak and cloudy skies for Cold Bay. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, we're looking at, for the most part, cloudy skies in Anchorage, rain showers for Homer, and periods of rain in Valdez. So a wet, messy weekend there for the south central sections. Our forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this. And we're going to be talking, oh, there he is, the forecast for tonight, 43 degrees, very warm, mostly cloudy skies, still some breezes out there. But here's the change for tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a chance of rain developing by evening, 62 degrees, but it gets better after that. The 5-day outlook, that is a 70-degree mark there on Thursday. How about that? Temperatures rising once again after we get past these clouds and rain, and then overnight lows will also be very warm. And I think Stephanie liked that because I heard a little bit of a, hey, yell for the there, huh? I did a woohoo. Yeah.
That's our 70 degrees. That's amazing.
Yeah. All right. It could be 70 plus by next weekend.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike.
That's a good Friday forecast.
All right. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us. But before we leave you tonight,
KTPF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up for a Spring Dream giveaway where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's at worth $2,500. That's a lot.
That's a good deal. And this week's mystery word is rocking. Visit Bailey's Furniture for more information and your chance to win.
Okay, that will wrap this up. We're glad you could join us.